Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Madison.
It's great to see you joining us again this week.
This week we're in John 11, so open your Bibles and we'll get started.
In John chapter 11, we read about a man named Lazarus. Now Lazarus had a sister named Mary and a sister named Martha. And as a family, they all knew who Jesus was, and they were actually really good friends with him. Now Lazarus, he was sick, and when Mary knew about this, she decided to send word to Jesus to ask him to come and heal her brother. So the message that she sent said, "Lord, the one you love is sick." And Jesus' response to this was a little bit surprising. He said, "This sickness will not end in death. This has happened to bring glory to the Lord." And so he decided to stay where he was. Instead of rushing to Lazarus, he stayed there for 2 more days and then went on to Judea. And by the time he got to see Lazarus and his sisters, Lazarus was already dead. And so people asked, "If only you'd been here, my brother would not have died. If you could make the blind see, why couldn't you heal Lazarus?" And Jesus stood with them and cried with them. But then he said, "Move the stone." And they did as they asked. They moved the stone, and Jesus prayed, "Father, thank you that you always hear me. Lazarus, come out." And even though 4 days had passed, and 4 days he'd been dead in a tomb, Lazarus came back to life.
So here we read about a family that Jesus was really friendly with. Mary, Martha and Lazarus, they all knew Jesus on a personal basis. He was their friend. You know, Jesus wants to be a friend to all people. And to have a friendship, you've got to work at it, haven't you? So they would have spent a lot of time with Jesus over the period of time that Jesus was walking on earth. And here we see that Lazarus has died. He has been dead for 4 days, and Jesus comes and he comforts Martha. He reaches out to her, he weeps and he cries with the family. He cried with Mary as he heard her speak about how she'd lost her brother. And you know, they would have felt Jesus' love as he comforted them. And then as we go on and read the story, and a miracle happens. It's just amazing. Jesus is then the healer. He raises Lazarus from the dead after being dead for 4 days. He always gives us hope, Jesus. There's always something he can do in every situation. So what kind of challenge can we get from that?
Okay, so the past few weeks we've been speaking about different things that Jesus is to us. We found out that he's a friend, he is a comforter, and he's a healer this week. So I want you to write down 3 lists again. So friend, comforter, and healer. How can Jesus be those things to you?
Yes. So we're really going to have to get our thinking caps on this week, and I'm sure you'll have some great answers. See you next week.
See ya.